The ballroom glittered like something out of a fairy tale. Crystal chandeliers shimmered above white-clothed tables, gold ribbons wrapped around centerpieces of roses. A huge silver 10 stood near the stage, surrounded by framed photos of our happiest moments, wedding smiles, beach vacations, birthdays, Christmas mornings. 10 years of marriage. 10 years of pretending. I paused outside the double doors, staring at my reflection in the glass. My makeup was flawless. My black silk dress hugged my frame perfectly. My hair fell in soft waves over my shoulders. But no amount of concealer could fully hide the purple shadow blooming beneath my right eye. I adjusted my clutch and inhaled slowly. Smile, just smile. When I stepped inside, the music softened and a few heads turned. Conversations dipped into whispers. I saw it immediately, the flicker of concern, the sideways glances, the subtle nudges between guests. My husband Daniel stood near the stage holding a glass of champagne. His smile was wide, charming, polished. He saw me and for a split second, something dark flickered behind his eyes. Then it vanished. He walked toward me, wrapping an arm around my waist a little too tightly. "Everyone," he said smoothly, raising his glass, "my beautiful wife." Applause followed. My ribs hurt where his fingers pressed. One of his coworkers leaned in. "Oh my gosh, what happened to your eye?" Before I could answer, Daniel laughed. "Family drama," he said lightly. "My sisters got a little protective. They think I deserve better treatment." He winked. "They may have overreacted." A few people chuckled awkwardly. My stomach dropped. He had told them that story. That his sisters confronted me. That they put me in my place. He squeezed my waist harder, a silent warning. "Play along." I forced a brittle smile. It was just a misunderstanding. Across the room I saw her. Lena. My twin sister. She stood perfectly still, her expression unreadable. Unlike me, she wore no mask, no forced smile, just calm, simmering awareness. We had always shared everything: secrets, clothes, childhood dreams. Even as adults, there was an invisible thread between us. She knew. Daniel guided me toward the head table, making rounds, shaking hands, soaking in admiration. He told stories about our strong marriage. He bragged about promotions, about the house he bought, about how he kept his family in line. Each laugh felt like sandpaper against my skin. When dinner ended, the lights dimmed slightly, and Daniel stepped onto the stage for his speech. He tapped the microphone. "10 years ago," he began, "I married the most stubborn woman I've ever known." Polite laughter. "She's strong-willed, fiery, but that's why I love her." More laughter. He looked at me from the stage. "And sometimes," he added casually, "it takes family to remind someone how to behave." A ripple moved through the crowd. Some people shifted in their seats. He raised his glass, "To my sisters for always having my back." A few claps echoed uncertainly. And that's when Lena stood up. She didn't rush, she didn't look angry. She simply walked toward the stage. Every step echoed in the suddenly quiet room. Daniel blinked. "Lena," he said, forcing a grin, "didn't know you wanted to say something." She took the microphone from his hand. "I do," she said calmly. The room held its breath. "I think it's important," she continued, "that we clear something up." Daniel's jaw tightened. My sister's black eye wasn't caused by his sisters. A murmur rippled through the guests. Lena's voice didn't waver. There were no sisters involved. Daniel reached for the mic. "All right, that's enough." She stepped back, keeping it out of reach. "I live 3 blocks away," she said. "Last night, around midnight, I heard screaming." The room went silent. I ran over, the front door was unlocked, and I saw Daniel shove my sister into the kitchen counter. Gasps erupted. Daniel's face drained of color. "She's lying," he snapped. "You know how dramatic she is." Lena didn't even look at him. "I also took pictures," she said, pulling her phone from her purse, time-stamped. The large projector screen behind the stage, meant to display anniversary photos, suddenly changed. Bruised arms. A shattered plate on the floor. A photo of me on the kitchen tiles, dazed, Lena kneeling beside me. The room exploded into whispers. Daniel lunged for the equipment, but one of his coworkers stepped in front of him. "Is this true?" someone demanded. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear. For 10 years I had swallowed insults, hidden tears, covered bruises with long sleeves and clever excuses. For 10 years I told myself it would get better. But standing there, watching Lena stand tall in my place when I couldn't, something shifted. Daniel pointed at me. "Say something," he hissed. "Tell them she's exaggerating." Every eye turned toward me. My hands trembled. I could lie. I could protect him. Like I always did. Instead I stepped forward. "It wasn't his sisters," I said quietly. The silence deepened. "He's done this before." A collective intake of breath filled the hall. Daniel's voice rose. "You ungrateful." "Don't," Lena warned sharply. Security hired for the event moved closer. Tears blurred my vision, but my voice grew steadier. "I stayed because I was ashamed," I admitted. "I didn't want anyone to know. I thought if I just tried harder, loved him better, he wouldn't get angry." The illusion of our perfect marriage shattered like glass. Daniel tried one last time. "She's unstable, she's always been emotional." Lena cut him off. "We're identical twins," she said coldly, "and I've never once mistaken my own sister's pain." The manager of the venue approached the stage. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." "What? This is my event." "Not anymore," Lena replied softly. Because earlier that afternoon, when Lena saw the bruise, she had quietly transferred the final payment from my personal account. My name was on the contract. Not his. 2 security guards escorted Daniel out as guests stared in disbelief. Some looked horrified, others embarrassed. A few women watched me with something like understanding. The doors closed behind him. And just like that, the air felt lighter. Lena turned to me. "You don't have to pretend anymore," she whispered. I broke. Not from fear. From relief. The guests didn't know whether to leave or stay. The cake still stood untouched. The 10 shimmered behind us, mocking what had been built on lies. Lena squeezed my hand. "So," she said gently, looking at the crowd, "since the truth is finally out, how about we celebrate something else?" Someone hesitantly began clapping. Then another. And another. Not for Daniel. For me. For survival. For courage. I wiped my tears and faced the room. "This isn't the anniversary I planned," I said, voice shaking but strong, "but maybe it's the beginning of something better." Lena raised her glass. "To freedom," she said. The crowd echoed it. "To freedom." And for the first time in 10 years, I smiled, not because I was told to, but because I was finally free.